All right, Shalom, it's your brother Shamar from Phoenix Camp. That being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, BAHASHAM, QUADASH. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the brothers doing this work in truth and sincerity, man. And real quick, I'm going to get into a lesson about Matthew 10:16, man. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves." So, so the man, the Lord, the man doing this work, they're compared to sheep, man. And the sheep is a peaceful, docile animal that's led by a shepherd, and we're led by the Lord, man. I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Let's get the definition for that word wolves, man. It says wolves, lukos. It says a wolf metaphor of cruel, greedy, rapacious, destructive men. So that's the world, man. That's the mentality of the world, because the world, two-thirds and two-thirds you're two-thirds of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Edomites and you heathens. That's the mentality that they have, man. They have mentality where they're only looking out for their best interests. They don't have them. Trying to get theirs pretty much. That's the mentality of the so-called world, man. And we have a contrary mentality, man. I'm gonna read that back again. Behold, I send you for the sheep in the midst of wolves. That's talking about the mentality of the people out here. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Let's work out that word harmless, man. It says harmless, unmixed, pure as in wine or metals of the mind, without mixture of evil, free from guile, innocent, simple. So harmless means not to mix yourself within the folly and wickedness that this world does, man. So you don't partake in the things that go on around you, but at the same time you move in a certain way as not to bring any extra attention to yourself, man. Because us being in this truth, man, we gotta be circumspect of how we deal with people. You can't go around calling the white man the devil, or calling your boss the devil, or you can't go around preaching what you do on the highways and hedges, because that's the place for that to be done. And so what does the scripture say? Let not your left hand know what your right hand do. It also says to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, man. So when you're at the workplace or when you're among the people of the world, you got to be circumspect of how you act. And that's why the scripture said before, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless, not mixed up with the wickedness of this world as doves. And the dove is another symbolic animal, another metaphoric animal that describes a peaceful bird, man. So how do we become wise as serpents? By this word is what makes us wise, man. These scriptures is what makes us wise. Having this truth is what makes us wise, and knowing how to utilize it and knowing how to practice it in our daily life is what makes us wise, man. And after that, I'm going to go to Luke 21 and 25. Which is Luke 21 and 25, and it says, and there's, no, that ain't Slakia. That was Luke 21 and 15. It says, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. So being that wise as a serpent, the serpent described as subtle, having knowledge of how to do things on the left-hand side. So we've got to be wise as a serpent, man. So what makes us wise? What makes us to that degree of intelligence? It's the scriptures. It's the Lord, man. So as a serpent is subtle and conniving and cunning on the left-hand side, we gotta be as conniving and cunning on the right-hand side, man. So that's why it says be wise as a serpent, cunning as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. So doing it on the right-hand side, man, being circumspect and being cunning and intelligent on the right-hand side. And what is the wisdom, or how do we become wise as serpent? And what is the wise that the Lord is talking about? It's Luke 21 and 15. It says, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom. So the Lord's going to give you that wisdom. The Lord's going to give you that cunning, that intelligence, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. So that's being wise as a serpent right there, man. You know, having that understanding of these scriptures. You know, knowing that whatever this world does, you can debunk it by the scriptures, man. You know, whatever this world does, you can debunk it by the scriptures. Whatever practices and folly and wickedness the world does, you know that the scriptures says otherwise, man, and you know what not to do and what to do. You know how to move. You know how to move within this wicked ass world. Why? Because you know the scriptures, and you know what to do and what not to. You know what the scriptures say. You have that understanding and you have that intelligence to put into practice. You know the things that are in the scriptures, man. With that, I'm going to get 1 Corinthians 14 and 20. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 20. It says, brethren, be not children in understanding, you know, howbeit in malice be ye children. So in malice, let's look at the word malice. Trouble, naughtiness, wickedness, malignity, malice, ill will, desire to injure, wickedness, depravity, wickedness not ashamed to break laws, evil, troubles. That's partaking in the wickedness of the world, man. How be it in malice be ye children, you know. So be children, be innocent to the things that are the wickedness of this world, man. Not knowing about it, not partaking in it, man. And this is the word children from the strong definition. It says to act as a babe, that is figuratively, innocently, be as a child. So innocent, man. So I'm going to read that back. Brethren, be not children in understanding, albeit in malice be ye children. Be innocent, you know, be not partaking of it. But understanding, be men. You know, so maturity, having that maturity, having that know-how of how to utilize and practice these scriptures and put into practice these scriptures in your life, man. And I'm going to get that word men in the Strongs. It says, it's a lot. It says, brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing necessary to completeness, perfect, that which is perfect. It says right here, completeness. I'll just start right here from G55 or 56. Complete in various applications of labor, growth, mental, and moral character. So maturity, man. So we got to be mature in our understanding. We got to be acting like a man in this truth, man. Being a man in this truth. Basically, doing the thing that you know that you got to do. You know what your requirements are in this truth. So you got to have the maturity to execute those things, man. In various applications of labor, growth, mental, and moral character, neuter as now with G5 and A, completeness of full age, man, perfect. So maturity. Brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing necessary to completeness, perfect, that which is perfect, a consummate human integrity and virtue of man, full-grown adult of full age, mature. So that speaks about maturity, man. But understanding, be men or be mature, or have the intelligence and the maturity to know what to do, man. We can't be little kids, you gotta put away childish things, man. And you gotta be a man about this truth. And you got to understand what it requires of you and what sacrifice it takes to keep this truth going and to serve the Lord, man. And with that, I want to get Ephesians 5 and 15. It's a lot. This is Ephesians 5 and 15. Says, Ephesians 5 and 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So circumspectly, let's get that word circumspectly, man. Carefully. So another word for circumspectly is carefully, man. Let's get that Strong's. Exactly, accurately, diligently. So that diligence, man. So we gotta be diligent. So another way of saying that scripture is see then that ye walk diligently, not as fools, but as wise. Wise is what? Wise as a serpent, being subtle, man. And going back to Luke 21:15, having that wisdom, understanding that no man can gainsay or resist. I'm gonna go to verse 16. Redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And that goes along with being mature, man. to being a man in this truth. A man in this a man in this truth. You know, you got to be a man about your business. You know, YAHAWAHSHI was a man about his business. You know, he was dead set. He was focused on doing his father's business, man. You know, he wasn't about no folly or nothing like that. You know, he did his father's business, man. You know, he had fellowship with the apostles. He drank wine and he ate fish and, you know, and whatnot. But he was about his father's business, man. He said, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Most High is. And be not drunk with wine, whereas in excess, but filled with the Spirit. So that those other philosophies, man. And also being drunk with wine is partaking in the pleasures of this world too much, man. Because the pleasure of the world is the philosophy of this world. Because philosophy of this world is what? To please your belly. You know? And be not drunk with wine where in is in excess. You know, of course you're gonna you know, brother's gonna drink, and you know, that's not saying that you can't get you a little drink, a little taste of something. But at the same time, we're not supposed to be fucking drunks either, man. We're supposed to be responsible and mature and intelligent of how we do things. But be filled with the Spirit. And it tells you right here in verse 19 how to be filled with the Spirit. How to stay in the Spirit. It says, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Most High, giving thanks always for all things unto Yahawah and the Father in the name of our Lord, Mashiach YAHAWAHSHI, submitting yourself one to another in the fear of Yahawah. So that tells you right there how to stay in the Spirit, man. By what? Staying in the Scriptures, you know, speaking yourself in psalms and hymns, the spiritual songs, giving thanks always for all things, being grateful, you know, being humble. Because when you're giving thanks for everything that the Lord gives you, you're putting yourself in a humble mind state, because you know that everything that you acquired, you didn't do it of your own will. It was the Lord that gave that to you. You know, whether it be a job or a house or car or a family or kids. You know, some brothers don't have those things, man. Some brothers have certain things, some brothers don't. It's whatever your lot is that the Lord gave you. Giving thanks always for all things unto Yahawah and the Father in the name of Mashiach YAHAWAHSHI. Submitting yourself one to another in the fear of Yahawah. So serving the brotherhood, man. So it tells you right there how to be spiritual. With that, I'm going to get Philippians, I think it's the 2nd chapter. It says, do all things without murmurings and disputing. So if you're walking in wisdom, and you're being wise in the serpent, you're not going to be murmuring, disputing, and that's what the world does. They make a big deal about bullshit that doesn't really fucking matter. You know, they care about shit that don't really matter, and in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's pretty much garbage. Like, you know, say for instance, Esau or and then you Jakes, you know, you'll remember everything about a certain baseball team or football team or sports team, and you'll dispute and murmur that shit. You know, you'll argue about it. You'll make a big deal about it, whether it be politics or sports or whatever, man. That's what the world does. It's to do all things without murmurings and disputings. You know, so we're not supposed to get engaged and involved in those type of things, man. You know, politics and things like that. You know, our focus is on the word. That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yahawah without rebuke, in the midst of crooked and perverse nation, among whom he shineth light in the world. You know, like going back to being wise as serpents, harmless as dove, man. You know, that'd be going back to being a lamb set in the midst of wolves. It says right here, says that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yahawah without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among which he shined his light to the world. So we are the beacon of the world. And why? Because we have this truth, man. This truth of what gives us light. It's not of our own selves. It's by the grace that the Lord has given us, man. That the measure of faith that the Lord has given to every brother. You know, so we're not supposed to be involved in murmurings and disputings and things like that. You know, so we're not here to argue over our pettiness. You know, we're here to be about our Father's business, man. That's what's going to make you blameless and harmless. That's something Yahweh was our rebuke. Why? Because our focus is going to be entirely upon this word and doing this work. You know, that's why it's important to separate those things in your life, man. There's a certain way you got to walk amongst the world, and a certain way that you walk amongst brothers, man. And a certain way that you are in this truth, and a certain way you will be when you're at your job site or in the public, man. You know. It says, holding forth the word of life. You know, that's what it is, man. Our focus is on the word. That I may rejoice in the day of YAHAWAHSHI, that I have not run in vain, neither labored in vain. Holding forth the word of life. So that's what's going to keep us blameless and harmless, man. By what? By keeping on in this word. By having our focus and priority of this word, man. You know, that I'm going to get Colossians 1 and 5, and I'll just close it on that. It says, for the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof you heard before in the word of truth of the gospel, which is come unto you as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it does also in you, since the day you heard of it, and knew the grace of Yahweh in truth. You know, so this is our hope, man. This is what we got to hold dear. This is what's going to make us wise as a serpent. You know, this is what's going to give us that cunning and that circumspectness, man. Having that hope. Having that truth. You know, since the day we heard it, man, it was instilled in us, you know, to go out there and teach. But we gotta hold it in reverence, and we gotta know how to utilize it in our daily lives, and we gotta know how to interact with these people out here, you know, through the scriptures, man. You know, so that's something that takes time to learn, you know, for some brothers, you know, because you know, brothers been, you know, they've been longer in the world and they've been more in the truth. So there's always got to be a learning stage where you learn like how to act towards certain people and how not to act, man. You know, and that was just a real quick lesson. The Most High wouldn't hope it was edifying. But that one say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah YAHAWAHSHI, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah YAHAWAHSHI, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah YAHAWAHSHI, Shalom.